They saw their chance to escape and they took it. 63 women and girls kidnapped by Boko Haram militants in Nigeria have escaped their captors. Militants took the female hostages nearly 1 month ago after attacking a village in Borno State. We're told the women fled when their captors left the camp to launch an attack. Now, while this is obviously good news, there are still more than 200 schoolgirls who are still missing. You may remember they were taken by Boko Haram back in April from a boarding school in Chibok there in Borno State in the northern part of Nigeria. Let's go now to our own Nema Al-Bagher, who's tracking all the latest for us from CNN London. Nema, let me first ask you what we know about these girls, these women who were able to escape.
Well, we understand that this particular group was abducted back at the end of last month, Aisha, and they were taken to an area very close to the Cameroonian border. They saw their opportunity when their captors went off to hold back, as we have been told, as we understand it, an attack by Nigerian authorities. They were threatened pretty harshly if they did attempt to escape, but they did it anyway. They ran out, they broke down the door, and they kept walking, and they walked for hours, Aisha, almost 24 hours. They went initially back to the site of the village that they were taken from, and they found just ashes there. And then they kept walking. Half of the women made it all the way back to safety, and the other half authorities went out looking for. It is, as you say, some ray of optimism. It does bring some little hope, but there is also the reality that those 200 schoolgirls are on their 83rd day, as you know so well, Aisha, 83rd day of captivity. So although this does give a sense that perhaps Boko Haram are finally beginning to feel some pressure from the Nigerian authorities' military activities up there, but it still remains to be seen whether this will impact on the captivity of the Chibok schoolgirls, Aisha.
As you mentioned, the Nigerian military and authorities, I want us to be clear with our viewers, did they have any hand in facilitating the escape of these women and girls?
No, and in fact, the reports that we're hearing of this escape are coming from the semi-official vigilante groups that have set themselves up and been used almost as an auxiliary force by the government in Maiduguri. That's who we're hearing this entire story from. We haven't heard any of this from Nigerian authorities, but you know, the reality is that the attacks have been relentless since the Chibok schoolgirls were taken, and the Nigerian authorities are extraordinarily stretched. In fact, there is some concern about whether they are even able to hold their own military positions, let alone go out looking for some of these girls that have been abducted. But these women and girls decided that they were going to take matters into their own hands, Aisha, and they took the risk, and happily for their families, that risk has paid off.
For the 200-plus schoolgirls that were taken on April 14th, the story that you and I covered from Nigeria together, the situation is that we haven't heard any more updates, anything really in recent days from the Nigerian government. Are you able to get any sense of the feeling on the ground in Nigeria about the silence, about the fact that the girls still aren't back?
There is a lot of concern in Nigeria, Aisha, that the girls will be forgotten. Their worry is, as the days tick by and the Nigerian authorities don't seem any closer, that lack of new news, that lack of hope will put those who have been so supportive off. But the girls are still out there, and their families are more desperate than ever, Aisha.